Last night, here's the Associated Press headline, number 105. Putin meets with Trump's envoys as Kremlin says Ukraine settlement hinges on territory. Zelensky gave an incredible speech in Davos. And he said what Donald Trump says. You Europeans need to be tougher, smarter, more lethal. It's an incredible moment, and I can't believe it's not getting more coverage. But in any event, they were up till 3 a.m. They're now in Abu Dhabi. Here is what the president said, 104. He talked on his way back home, and he said his meeting with Zelensky was good, and Zelensky's pushing Europe to do more. Here's what part of what Zelensky said. I recommend the whole thing to you. Europe loves to discuss the future, but avoids taking action today, action that defines what kind of futures we will have. If Putin decides to take Lithuania or strike Poland, who will respond? Tomorrow you may have to defend your way of life. Zelensky saying, I want the U.S.'s help, but Europe, what are you doing? And of course, that's exactly what President Trump says. Kind of an incredible moment. Lastly, I just want to show you the president's latest Truth Social post from moments ago, right before we went on the air. That's what the president put on Truth Social. He's up and about in a good mood. What a great trip to Davos it was. So many things accomplished, including the framework of a deal with NATO and Greenland, also the Board of Peace. Wow, make America great again, President TJT. Didn't mention Ukraine there, but I can tell you that people in the administration working on this are as bullish on the prospect of a deal as they've ever been, even as there remains doubt about whether Putin will actually do a deal. So, Jamie, are you bullish or bearish this morning on the prospects of there actually being a deal? Because everybody's saying they're closer than they've been.
Yeah, I'm just not there yet. You know, the question is, will we cave yet again to Russia? America is great, but I don't understand what this administration has with Putin and why we can't exert that greatness on him. I mean, I just think we need to step up and listen. I would love a deal. I think what Ukraine has done is, Mark. I think somebody needs to write a book about that. Who would have ever thought when this started that Ukraine would still be holding on today, fighting hard, and all of the casualties that you've seen in Russia? It shows that Russia is not as strong as they like to be or portray themselves. But I hope there's a deal. I'm just not bullish about one.
Okay, Matt, bullish or bearish on a deal at this point?
I'm bearish on a deal as well. I mean, look, there's just how many times have we been through this, right? And so I think that's going to be just a tough thing to start convincing people that this is real until it actually is. We see real things. I mean, I feel like we did get closer in Alaska than people give it credit for, but obviously the Germans wanted to didn't want a ceasefire immediately. We wanted one. But I think one of the other things is, especially coming from that story that you just mentioned, we talk so often about how much Zelensky can press Trump and influence Trump into the kind of the way of thinking and getting behind Ukraine. I think the underrated part of this is how much Trump is influencing Zelensky, particularly when it comes to how the Europeans need to step up. And that's been a theme this whole last year of the administration, dating back to Vance and Munich.
Yeah. Larry, I want to ask you about Go ahead. I want to ask you about.
Well, I actually want Chairman Harrison, I think, actually sort of tickled my fancy there when suggesting that the administration should step up a bit here, and I think a lot of people would agree with you. Can you expand on it, though? I mean, what does stepping up look like, especially compared to the pressure the Biden administration put on solely on Putin, and that didn't seem to do much. So, what are you suggesting?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, Larry. One of the things I just think. I think Putin reacts to strength and power. And, Donald Trump exerts that strength and power to everybody else other than Putin. He seems soft when it comes to Putin.
He has put sanctions on, and I think if this falls apart, he'll put more on.
Yeah, Mark,
He has greenlit the use of force by Ukraine more than Biden did.
Yeah.
And helping to bring down the global price of oil is sort of, put them in an economic situation.
Closing the Indian loophole. Certainly, yeah. I guess I just don't. Yeah, I'm curious.
But other than that, what have the Romans done for us?
We got to move on because we got so many topics to get to. Two quick things on Ukraine. Zelensky just talked to a bunch of reporters. I'm not sure if he's still in Davos or where he is. But he said, he reminded me, there were trilateral talks early on, but at a much lower level. than this. They were, I forget who was there for the U.S., but it was lower level than this. And he said he's keeping in regular touch with the negotiators, and the tone of what he said is very bullish. This is just moments ago somewhere in Europe. And then let's Polymarket what wagers at our partner Polymarket say about the prospects of a deal. Will there be a ceasefire by the end of this year? 45% chance by the end of the year that there'll be a ceasefire. 45% chance by the end of the year BC.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.